For my informational interview, I interviewed Brianna Birdsall. Brianna currently works as an elementary school counselor at Wilton Elementary School in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I was specifically interested in her experience in the mental health and social work fields, so I asked her questions pertaining to that line of work. We discussed her interest in social work coming from a passion she felt during student teaching. Helping children and families was an interest that soon turned into a desire. She finished her student teaching and received a Bachelor of Science in Child Development and Family Relations, but her interest in social work is ultimately what led her to complete her master's in social work. After college, Brianna began her career by working with children and adults with developmental disabilities. She later found a job working with Child Protective Services. And during this time, she found a part-time job with community-based rehabilitation services with children who had mental health diagnoses. To extend her experience in mental health, she eventually began working in a hospital where she was responsible for completing psychiatric assessments with minor and adult patients to determine if they needed psychiatric hospitalization. She was also responsible for assessing suicidal individuals and completing safety plans or referrals for community services. All of this previous work is what led her to her current job as an elementary school counselor. Brianna encourages individuals pursuing the mental health field to have a variety of skills. She also strongly suggests a solid understanding of human development, child development, psychology, and sociology. Being able to communicate effectively and efficiently is also critical when working in this field. Those qualities ensure that you speak clearly and respectfully while listening attentively and in a non-judgmental manner. Assessing risk and safety concerns is often required of mental health workers, as well as having a good understanding of diversity and ethics. Social workers are often multifaceted. They communicate consistently with other organizations and entities in the community and make referrals to outside agencies. Because of this, they must understand what it means to be a good team player. They must also be resourceful by having a strong knowledge of community and resources to refer clients and families if they have that need. This type of work can be emotionally demanding, making it important to designate time for yourself. Boundaries are crucial to establish between colleagues and clients in order to leave work at work and focus on self-care at home. When discussing experience that she recommends before entering this line of work, she mentioned both paid and volunteer work. She recommends experience with children in different settings, such as babysitting, volunteering at school, working with children with disabilities, or volunteering or working at a summer camp. Hospitals are also a good place to volunteer to get your foot in the door, and having as many different experiences working with children or adults will allow you to become more marketable as a social worker. It is also recommended to take an internship, which could be done at schools, hospitals, senior living centers, preschools, summer camps, disability services, and places like Head Start. Responding to allegations of abuse and or neglect is one of the toughest problems she's had to deal with. Another tough problem she encounters is when she must interview kids who are facing a crisis, but being a smiley face for them during that tough day is truly what is rewarding for her. It's also rewarding when she can help families create solutions to challenges they face. The vulnerable children who need that trusting adult are what keeps her motivated in this career. I concluded my interview by asking Brianna if there are any recommendations she has for me when it comes to pursuing a career in the mental health and social work fields. She said to be prepared to be faced with very sad situations that stir up negative emotions and could potentially be triggering. A lot of people enter this field because they experience tough times as a child and want to give back. She always recommends that people self-examine their own trauma, childhood experiences, or adverse childhood experiences, because you must first help yourself and resolve those situations before you can successfully help others. After our interview, I was even more interested in pursuing this line of work. I am particularly interested in the job she had where she interviewed patients in the hospital settings to see if they needed further psychiatric evaluation. I also have an interest in working with Child Protective Services. Although I wouldn't be interested in pursuing her current job as an elementary school counselor, I was still pleased to gain insight of the other areas of work that she's had to do that do interest me. And this experience has given me a newfound excitement for this career field.